really hate to do this during Black Women's People Be Gay Black Women's Month, during Black People Music Black Women's Month, but Jennifer Hudson is the worst talk show host I have ever witnessed.
VBS, I just turned the water on, big old flex, that you never saw before. These niggas chasing me like waterfalls. Keeping on my truck, look like bricks.
What's up, guys? It's your sister, Jessie Woo. Welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, make sure that you subscribe. So you can join the Black Women's Tribe during Black Women's People Be Gay Black Women's Month, during Black People Music Black Women's Month. Okay. Hope that you guys are having a good day. I've actually wanted to have this conversation for a minute. And actually some things went viral last week and I didn't get a chance to talk about it. So here I am. Okay. Listen, time is slipping away from me.
Time is slipping away from me. Yeah.
Hey, it's a lot going on. I'm trying to catch up. But before we get into it, y'all, subscribe. Make sure that you like this video. Please leave me a comment and share this video with, your friends, your loved ones, whoever, your fellow sisters and your brothers, okay? But I've been wanting to talk about this for a minute. And last week, a clip from the Jennifer Hudson show talking to Eddie Murphy went viral. And I meant to come on here, but again, time is just slipping away from me, child, okay? So let's get into it. Let's jump right on in. Not out, buddy. Okay? So let's talk about the Jennifer Hudson show and how horrible it is. I think we can all be honest, right? And say that this show is on its 4th season. And what this show is best known for has nothing to do with the actual show.
Aaron, Pierre, that's Mufasa. What? Aaron, Pierre, that's Mufasa.
All right? The Spirit Tunnel ain't got nothing to do with the Jennifer Hudson show, the talk show itself, right? And so that alone is really where I could just end this conversation. Because there's nothing else to say. Okay, like we could just really leave it there. The fact that the Spirit Tunnel is what this show is most known for is a testament to just how horrible the actual show is because of its host, okay? And as we get into this conversation, I just want to say, listen, I do not know Jennifer Hudson personally. I actually did have the honor of meeting her once. It was when she did the Respect movie. She did a marvelous job in the movie. I believe that was probably 2021, and I think she got her talk show the next year. But anyway, she's an EGOT. She's an icon, right? Like, she is a soon-to-be legend in her own right, all right? She is very, very talented, but I say this like with love. I know it's probably not going to sound like it because of my delivery, but Jennifer Hudson has no business having a talk show. No business having a talk show. It's just a bunch of, what? Really? Oh, goodness. And I am telling you, oh my gosh. Somebody grab me a microphone. How do you do that?
Birdie told me that you was in a movie. Tell me about that. And you played a person that was not you. And you telling me you had to memorize all them lines? How you do that? Have in love with you, you said. So when you was hungry, you knew. You just knew. So it says here when you were younger, you had fallen outside. How did that make you feel? Somebody bring her a microphone. And the role was a character. And you was still you. You didn't bring a microphone with you and you knew it was gonna sing something. And you live in a house with walls and a door. That's a blessing.
It's all over TikTok. Y'all have seen all the TikTok videos and all the compilations of people making fun of Jennifer Hudson's talk show hosting skills.
So why heard that you just made a big movie.
Yeah, I just finished the movie with the late James Earl Jones.
James Earl Jones?
I was just honored to, be in his final movie with him. It was a lot of fun.
Oh, he's a legend.
Absolutely.
So Little Birdie told me that you got a big role.
Yeah, I'm the lead in this movie.
You're the lead?
Yeah.
How you do that?
So just my casting director, he called me. I auditioned for the role, and I got it.
And you got the role? Let's go to break.
And while these are hilarious, they are painfully accurate. And I just don't understand how she keeps getting renewed.
A little birdie told me that your favorite cereal as a kid was Frosted Flakes. And not only that, you ate it with a spoon. Wow! How you do that?
Like, I'm pretty sure the production company knows what we're thinking, what we're saying. They see the comments. Like, they see this. And for whatever the reason, Jennifer Hudson still has a talk show. And as far as I'm concerned, this is a scheme that Todd set up to come to us with the bullshit. So let's rewind, okay? Jennifer Hudson in June 2022, it was announced that she landed a talk show. And here she is on her Instagram announcing it. I can't believe I get to say this, but welcome to my show. Let's light up daytime beginning September 12th. Wait a minute, that's my birthday. Okay, so that's her announcing her television show. And I just want to take you guys back. This is 2022, right? So remember, June 2022, Wendy Williams walks away from her television show, right? And we don't really get a send-off. We don't really get to see her really walk away from it. We all know that she did this amidst many health reports that basically told us that her health was prohibiting her from hosting the show, right? We were there. We saw her in the panoramic. We saw how, she was just slowly losing herself. So from 2020 to 2022, things got worse and she just could no longer host her show. And mind you, this was followed by back in March of 2022, Williams had told, I think it was Good Morning America, that she was feeling fine, she was great, and she was in good spirits and she was ready to host her show. But now in 2025, we know what's been going on behind the scenes with Wendy Williams. We know about the conservatorships. That's a whole other story in itself. And we also know that while she was out, Sherri Shepherd was one of the favorites who was filling in for her on her show. And now, Sherri Shepherd has her own show. And even Sherri, to me, I think Sherri Shepherd, at least she's funny, she's entertaining. But even her, she's had some misses for me. Like, for instance, I did not like how Big Shirley was crying, had Jonathan Luther King Majors Jr. the third, crying on her bosom, and she was crying on his bosom, right after telling Meg Thee Stallion that she was not a good example for showing, some of her titty cleavage at, I think it was an Oscars party, right? So we saw her shun a DV victim, but then also we saw her cry in the bosom of an abuser in the matter of a week, okay? So Sherri, girl, I love her. I love Sherri Shepherd. I think she's hilarious. But yeah, I just feel like sometimes she's very male-centered, and sometimes it just jumps out at you, and it's just uncomfortable to watch at times. But anyway, we know eventually Sherri Shepherd would go on to have her show, and she still has it till this day, right? And it's doing pretty good. We have Tamron Hall, who I believe had her show since, I believe, 2019, if I'm not mistaken, either 2019 or 2021. I can't remember the year. But remember, 2022 is a very pivotal year in daytime television. We lose Wendy Williams. We also lose Ellen DeGeneres. Now remember, in 2020, it was exposed that the Ellen show was a toxic environment. You had a lot of different employees coming forward with, very serious allegations. And, Ellen was doing a fair job at kind of skating on the allegations, but still being, successful as far as her show is concerned. But in 2022, I think it was May 2022, she decided to walk away from the show. And so you kind of have two women who were, I mean, the Ellen show was huge. Wendy was huge too, but I was there. Okay, I watched the Wendy Williams show, and over the years, even though she had a great 14 years, every other week or every other month, there would be some sort of scandal. There would be some sort of, public outrage, when Wendy would say something that people didn't like or that wasn't politically correct. Wendy, she just said it how a TI is. Like, she's unfiltered. She's a Cancer like me. I can relate to her a lot. And then you have Ellen, who did the nice, be kind thing, and, turned out to be a demon behind the scenes, which, by the way, I have very unpopular opinions when it comes to Ellen and people like Wendy. I feel that there's a difference between being nice and being kind. And I think that a lot of times when folks in the industry set certain boundaries, it can be seen as them being mean. Now, this is not me, excusing Ellen's behavior or even like Wendy's behavior sometime when she would say certain things. Shit, I get dragged from time to time when I say things that people don't agree with, right? But I feel that a lot of times, I think as a talk show host, folks don't understand how easily overstimulated you can become. Like, very easily overstimulated. There are so many meetings that have to happen before you even get on that stage. So before you get on that stage and talk, there's so many talks that you have to have before then. So I understand why, like, the Ellens or the Steve Harveys of the world would have like certain boundaries that people would think is like, damn, that's mean. I understand why they would say, like, don't talk to me. Don't talk to me right now. Like, don't talk to me from this time to that time. Like, sometimes you just it's so many people in your ear. And then a lot of times when you're a talk show host too, you're not just a talk show host, right? You're an actor. You got other things, like you got other shows to host, right? So I can kind of have empathy and understanding for that. But that still doesn't mean that you should be a raging bitch, okay? So I just want to make that clear. But anyway, I just want to set the tone for 2022. We're losing Ellen, we're losing Wendy, and out of nowhere, we get Jennifer Hudson. That don't seem like a scheme that Ty set up to y'all.
Well, it could have been a scheme that Todd set up for him to come to you with the bush.
Jennifer Hudson, like, again, amazing, talented songstress, right? But before the Jennifer Hudson show, I have never seen a moment from Jennifer Hudson that made me think to myself, ooh, I'd love to sit down with Jennifer Hudson and chit chat. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's a lot of celebrities that I see them in interviews and I'm like, damn, that's my girl right there. I know if I got to kick it with her, I would love it. Like Niecy Nash, Taraji P. Henson, Keke Palmer. You know what I mean? Like, Jennifer Hudson? I've never heard anyone say, I would love to talk to Jennifer Hudson. She was a key. Last night I went out with Jennifer Hudson and oh my God, she was a key. I've never heard this, right? And so for me, it was like, okay, so I don't know her to be a journalist. I don't know her to be talkative for real. Why are we giving her a talk show, right? And till this day, 4 seasons later, I have still not seen a moment from Jennifer Hudson that tells me, ooh, I would love to sit down with Jennifer Hudson and talk to her about this. If y'all have seen a moment like that, drop it in the comments and let me know. I just have not seen it. I haven't seen anyone on social media say anything, of the sort. So I'm just still confused during People Be Gay Black Women's Month as to why she has a talk show, okay? Now, here's the thing. I want to make something very clear too, right? Because a lot of times when people like me make certain commentary about, folks in certain, realms of the industry, some of y'all will be in the comments, oh, well, not everybody's a journalist, right? To be a talk show host, you don't have to be a journalist. Everybody's not going to be a Tamron Hall, okay? But I come from the school of, Jenny Jones, Ricky Lake, Oprah, Diane Sawyer, Sally Jesse Raphael, Maury. You know, motherfuckers who gonna ask you questions. Motherfuckers who gonna look like they're interested in what you're saying. Motherfuckers who gonna think about what you're saying as you're saying it, they're registering it, and then they have a comeback. Maybe they'll have pushback. Follow-up questions. You know, motherfuckers who ain't gonna, oh my God, really? So a little birdie told me to death. No, that's the school I come from, right? Motherfuckers who get a little messy. You know, Jenny Jones. You know what I mean? To be a talk show host, being a journalist is great. But if you're not a journalist, at least be inquisitive. At least be a talker. At least have active listening skills. Right? Right? At the very least, at least be a little messy. The best talk show hosts are messy. When you watch like late night television, the David Lettermans, the Jimmy Fallons, Trevor Noah, they're a little messy. They gonna ask you little, you know what I'm saying, little messy ass questions. They gonna have little slide remarks, right? They're entertaining. Be entertaining, right? If you're not those things, Jennifer Hudson to me would do great on like a kids show. Like I remember there was one point where Tiffany Haddish had a show that she was hosting with kids, which now in retrospect, maybe they didn't see the skit. Did they not see the skit? But you know, like I think Jennifer Hudson would do great on Kids Say the Darndest Things. Like, oh my gosh, you so cute. Oh, you so talented. You is smart. Like Jennifer Hudson gives, you is kind, you is smart, and you sure is important. She gives that. Like she gives Kids Say the Darndest Things. She doesn't give talk show host. Like it just doesn't give. Like she doesn't give that. Like, are you okay? Like who thought it was a good idea to make her a talk show host? So first and foremost, the clip that I really wanted to make a video about was her with Kesha. So Kesha recently was on a Jennifer Hudson show. I think this was like a month or two ago, right?
I was an extra on Dreamgirls.
What? Really?
Serious. Bible.
Kesha was an extra in Dreamgirls?
She was an extra on Dreamgirls. It's funny because when I watch this, you can see how Kesha realizes that she ain't gonna get no follow-up questions. So she tells her story on her own.
For like $120.
I love you.
For 16 hours, I sat there with my hair teased to the gods.
Yeah?
Oh my God, no offense, I hated it.
You know you're gonna make me go rewind it back, and I'm gonna go rewind it back and try to spot you.
And a scene, it was a big auditorium downtown LA.
Yes. I don't remember the name of the theater, but we shot everything downtown LA,
Yeah.
That's for sure. So you were definitely there.
Yeah.
Okay, so I know we're both musicians, so we have that in common, but I want to learn from you. Where did your musical journey start at?
Oh, like in the womb.
Dreamgirls is the movie that won Jennifer Hudson an Oscar. Her first movie. And it won her an Oscar, right? Kesha is a superstar. Like this is a big star sitting in front of you, right? That's such a random fact to learn in that moment. And the fact that you had no questions, like she had no questions about that. Like first and foremost, me learning that, my question was, what were you doing on set of a black ass movie? Like what were you doing there, little white girl? Like what was going on? What was the role? You know what I mean? Like, I know you're a big musical artist, but did you want to act? You know, have you done other acting projects? Like, no follow-up questions. Just, Kesha was the extra on Dreamgirls. Oh my God. going on. So anyway, that was the first clip that really made me want to cock my camera up. I was like, okay, sister, like, enough is enough. And even back then when this clip was going viral, I had posted it on my threads and people were like, well, I mean, like, what follow-up questions, what is she supposed to have? She's a talk show host. Her job is to talk. But when you look at the entire interview, really, for Kesha and other interviews too, on her show, on the Jennifer Hudson show, the guests really just tend to do the heavy lifting. Like, it's almost as if the guests are prepped that, hey, we're going to make this stop at Jennifer Hudson show. She ain't going to ask y'all shit. Just go on there, tell your full-on story, and you know, do the tunnel and get the fuck on. Like, it kind of gives that. Let's go into this Eddie Murphy sit down, which to me, honestly, should be studied in journalism schools. It is a perfect example of what not to do when you are conducting an interview as a talk show host, right? So Eddie Murphy is on the show and he's promoting his movie that he has coming out, I believe, this week with Keke Palmer. I think it's going to be on Amazon. This is a legend, living legend, right? And for years, we heard that Eddie Murphy's son and Martin Lawrence's daughter had been dating, right? This is a very popular fact about the both of them, but it's been hilarious over the years how those two kids go viral, like every now and I feel like every 6 months there will be did y'all know that Eddie Murphy and Martin Lawrence about to be in-laws because they kids are dating, you know, like it was like a well-known thing. Their proposal went viral. So it's something that most people would know, right? That Eddie Murphy's son and Martin Lawrence's daughter had been dating each other, right? And so I would just think, if you're going to ask him about that, at the very least, you would know that it's his son and it's Martin Lawrence's daughter, right? But anyway, they're having a conversation, and here's how the conversation goes.
So, are you going to sing at your son's? Wait, it's your daughter's wedding, right?
First and foremost, right? She didn't know whether Eddie Murphy had a son or daughter. As a talk show host, usually when your guest is coming on, you're briefed as to what you're going to speak about. And I know for a fact that Jennifer's team prepped her for this conversation because the pictures and the clips of their proposal was readily available. So these are things that she was briefed on, right? So clearly she's not listening when she's briefed. And even here now, she's still not listening because she brings up, is it your son or your daughter? And he says, it's my son. And he tells her literally twice in the first 10 seconds that him and Martin's children have gone off and eloped.
My son and they got married like 2 weeks ago. They went off. Everybody was making the big wedding plans, and then they decided they wanted to do something quiet with just the two of them, and then they got married, and now Martin don't got to.
Y'all are in-laws now.
Y'all are in-laws now. Yes. And then again, Eddie reiterates what he said to Jennifer.
You and Martin are in-laws.
Yeah, we're in-laws. He don't have to pay for the big wedding now.
So that makes 3 different times that he told Jennifer that their children eloped.
Did you sing for the wedding, Eddie?
No, I didn't. They didn't have a wedding.
Oh, no?
No, they went off and they got married at the
So
church.
you didn't
So now we have 2 more times. He literally just told her 2 different ways that their children eloped. No, I ain't sing at the wedding. They went off and got married. So that's 5 times that he told her the same thing.
They just had the 2 of them and the preacher. They had a little quiet, look at it, a little quiet little thing.
Oh, that's beautiful.
So I think we'll have like a big party or something.
And then maybe
they ran off and got married.
He tells her again in 2 more different ways. So that's 7 different times. That's literally a total of 7 different times that he had to tell her that their children eloped.
Okay, will you sing then?
Will I sing at the wedding?
Yeah.
No, I ain't singing.
No.
Hey. This man had to tell her 9 times there was no wedding. There was no wedding. Now, prior to this moment, right, they were talking about Eddie Murphy and Michael Jackson. And we know back in the day, you know, he had the "My girl wants to party all the time, party all the time, party all the time." You know, he was very obsessed with being a singer back then, right? So I get her asking that one time. I'll give you that. But to spend 5 minutes asking this man if he sang at a wedding that did not happen. What's going on up in here? What's happening? What is like, you know? And I saw a lot of people see this clip and was like, "Ooh, Jason Lee was right." Jason Lee was not correct, okay? Jason Lee said this about Jennifer Hudson.
Is now speaking out on her unexpected divorce from Jeezy. And she went on the Jennifer Hudson show because that's where you go when you want to get your word across, I guess. Damn. We all know Jennifer Hudson's illiterate. Well, look, she went on the show to talk to her.
Very disrespectful. So no, Jason Lee was not correct. Now, do things tend to just, you know, fly above her head and, you know, does she be just, you know, where are you? Is she a little Is she a little patsy? Yes. Okay? But we're not going to say that about her. That's disrespectful. And I think that that's really disrespectful to agree with. You know what this interview with Eddie Murphy also exposes too? Is that Jennifer Hudson sincerely does not give a fuck about what's going on with these celebrities that she's sitting next to, right? And that's why Wendy Williams will always reign supreme, right? Because Wendy Williams was invested. She was invested in folks' lives. She knew shit about celebrities that even celebrities did not know about themselves. She knew it, right? And not saying that Jennifer Hudson would have to be like Wendy Williams, but the fact that she literally did not know the tea about these people's children, right? And also, too, I feel like a lot of these talk show hosts that are now coming into, you know, they're celebrities too, and they want to be invited to the brunches. They want to be invited to the dinners. Again, Wendy Williams did not care. She did not want to come to your crusty ass dinner where the food was going to be cold and the drinks wasn't going to be drinking. Okay, like, she did not care. She was going to do her job. Her job was to know your tea, to know what the latest news is, and to know your tea, and to talk to you about your tea. Even if you did not want to talk about your tea, she was going to talk about your tea to you, behind you, to the side of you. That's why she's always going to reign supreme, right? Because nowadays, a lot of these people who are having these talk shows, they want to be friends. They want to be invited. They want to go to the Rock Nation brunch. Did you ever see Wendy Williams down to the Rock Nation brunch? No. Okay? So that's the difference. That's the difference. She is genuinely invested in knowing about these people that she was going to talk to. Jennifer Hudson don't know what day it is. She do not care. What? How you do that? She don't know. She's asking you how you do that. Because she don't know. She genuinely doesn't know how you do that. She don't know and she don't give a damn. This interview alone should be reason not to renew this motherfucking show. Like, it's just, it kind of gives, Jennifer is there to kind of like shuck and jive a little bit. And I think it goes back to what I mentioned in the beginning, right? So we lost Ellen, we lost Wendy. And I think that the daytime talk show realm in general was looking for more niceness. They're looking for more niceness. You know, we have Kelly Clarkson doing karaoke, you know, but at least with Kelly Clarkson, you know, she's going to do her little karaoke and she's going to kill it, but she's also going to have a really good conversation with you, right? We have Demi Moore, who can't keep her hands off people, you know what I'm saying? And then you have Jennifer Hudson, who's just like extremely just, oh my God, no way. How you do that? You know, and it just gives like, what the is going on? She just sucks ass. We just have to be honest about that. And I'm just kind of tired. And I don't even watch the show. Like, it's crazy. I don't even watch the show and I'm tired. However, I love the tunnel. I love the tunnel. Maybe we could keep the tunnel. Like, maybe we could get another talk show host, and every now and then we have the Jennifer Hudson tunnel at the top of that show. And then we get to the real talk show. Maybe that would be a solution. But those are some of my thoughts. I kind of feel like, what is going on? Now, I've seen people say that Keke Palmer should have her own talk show. Keke Palmer has had 2 talk shows. She had one with BT, I believe, when she was a teenager or in her early 20s. And she also had the talk show that came on right after Good Morning America. It was like midday. It was with Michael Strahan. And I remember the comment section of that talk show. Okay. She received a lot of racism. A lot of racism. I do think that Keke Palmer is great. I think like her podcast is great and definitely keep that. I do feel that this is my only reason why I think Keke Palmer would not be a good talk show host, but I think it's an easy fix. Keke Palmer is very like main character. When you watch a Keke Palmer interview, Keke Palmer podcast, like she's still the main character. Okay. She's going to steal the show every single time. Right. And I think that there should be kind of like a medium. And I think that's an easy fix. I think if she were to easily fix that, you know, I have my thoughts on it, but I don't care to share it because I feel like her personality is her personality. Like who she is who she is. The gag it, you know what I mean? Like, it's your girl, you know, like that's just who she is. But I feel that there should be like a medium where it's like, okay, yes, you're Keke Palmer, main character energy, yes, but you don't want to always overshadow your guests when you're doing a talk show. That's just my personal opinion. But I do think, baby, give it to Keke Palmer. Give it to Keke Palmer. Let Jennifer Hudson do the tunnel. And just let go ahead and cancel this shit. This shit is not good. This talk show sucks ass. Those are my thoughts. Drop them in the comments. Let me know yours. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Take care of yourselves and each other.
You know, a little birdie told me that when you was little, you had a door. And you used to walk through it. How you do that?
VBS, I just turned the water on. Big old flex, shit you never saw before.